Alright, I'm starting up the stream. Looks like it's running. Hi everyone, I'm TigerHawk3, and today I'm going to do a little more with the Python Deque that we have been writing and looking at. Not really any substantive changes today. There's one, but it's mostly going to be refactoring and just changing variable names. So let's do that. Okay, first I'm going to make this be with an underscore, because it's not supposed to be something that the user messes with. Okay. Now I will make this underscore scene. And is there any more without an underscore? No. Okay. I'm going to just save this locally first for convenience. And then I can do this. Scene. Okay. So, what we're going to do, instead of having an optional argument that indicates whether the current instance is the parent or not, the one that initially got called to create a string representation, we're going to infer that from the state of the scene set. So if we haven't seen anything, then it's the first one. That's just going to be, because I mean, we clear it at the end, and so then it is empty. And the next time we start, it will be empty. And so the starting one means it's empty. Parent equals and the reason I'm doing this instead of just checking if not seen is because I need to be able to use the same state later. Because if I just say if seen again, then that'll be it'll always be whatever I updated it to, and I want this to remain the same. Then I can leave this the same, that the same, and I no longer need this, and I no longer need that, and this can just be this. Alright, so instead of first checking if it's a Deque and we've seen it, otherwise the repro of this Deque that we need to explicitly pass false, not the parent, now we don't need to do that anymore. So we can just have the repro of the item. Neat. I will move this to the next line, actually. Equals this, if something else, whatever. Great. I'm going to move these out a little bit. Not that much, actually. How about just 2? Fine. Great. So that's a code refactor and not just changing variable names. So we've done that. That's a little tidier. It's a little less defensive and explicit. Instead of saying this is definitely the parent, so there, we're just saying, well, look at scene, and if it's empty, then that means that it's the parent. QED. But as long as no one intentionally tries to break it, then we're fine. And if someone intentionally tries to break it, it will be broken. And that is also fine. The Python way of doing things is we're all consenting adults here. If you have a variable in your class and someone goes in and changes it, then we assume they wanted to for some reason, and, you know, have fun. Might break things, but it's up to you. And we indicate that if you change something, you might break things with a single underscore. And you can extra indicate it with 2 underscores, not 2 in the front and 2 at the end, just 2 leading underscores. Because if you have underscores on both sides, then it's some kind of magic method. Is kind of the indication. This is not a hidden or name mangled variable. I mean, you could have double underscore ABCD double underscore. I don't know if it would count as name mangled. Nope, does not do that. So, if you want to name angle it, meaning accessing that variable from outside the class adds extra stuff, like we have our class Deque. So if I had scene be 2 underscore scene instead of just 1 underscore, then accessing scene would be I could have my class Deque, and then I would say instead of Deque dot double underscore scene, I would have to say Deque dot underscore Deque double underscore scene. Name mangling, the name has been mangled. So it adds the name of the class in the front to make it a little more inconvenient. But you can still get to it if you want. So ending it with double underscores makes it no longer do that. So, what else? I have a list of stuff somewhere here. Find row is only used for the multiprocessing version of matrix multiplication, so it's going to be an underscore. Great. And first and last, the first node and the last node are going to be hidden now. Forward, the flag for whether the deck has been reversed or not. Quantity, the number of items in the deck. We're also going to change that to length or underscore length, because you're supposed to get the length with the len method. And scene, we've already done that, so that's good. And find row, now we need first, forward, last, and quantity. Okay. I know there's a lot of first and a lot of quantity. First. Okay. Place with underscore first. Place. Place. Replace. I'm just looking at all of them, manually making sure. See, this one I don't want. I don't want to change. Right, next. Replace self dot first, underscore, underscore, underscore. Okay, and here's the first instance of first. Haha. And then let's do last now. Replace that, replace that, and that, and that. Last. Remember that self.first and self.last are not necessarily the first thing we will see or the last thing we will see when we iterate over the deck, because of the forward flag, which is whether we've reversed it or not. Because our reverse is O of 1, it just says look at it backwards. So if you want the, practical first item in the deck, you can do deck 0 with like index it, or deck -1 for the last. That's what you're supposed to do. Forward. Underscore. That wasn't very many. Awesome. Where's forward last? Quantity. We're going to call that underscore length. That's what we're going to do. Quantity is going to be length. Just making sure. Don't want that one. But I actually... do I? I think I do. Returns a quantity. No, I don't want that one. Because this is just referring to the general concept of a quantity. The number of objects equal to the past item. It's not the length of a sequence which contains all the objects equal to the past item. It's a quantity of the number of objects. There's no container with a length that we're talking about. In each case, it would describe a scalar, like 5, but in the length case, it means that we're referring to a container of length 5 somewhere. But here, we don't have any container. There's nothing to have a length of. Find next. Place. Oh, look at all these. And I think every time we make this replacement, we save 1 character. Yay! Is that it? That is it. That's all. Okay. Alright. We changed find row. First, last, forward, quantity, and scene we changed at the beginning. And so I think that is all for that. I will push this to the GitHub repos, both of them. I have this in small scripts and in Deque. I had it just in small scripts initially, but then I thought there's, a dozen commits that are just about this one file, so I figured I'd put it in its own thing as well. And now I'm just updating both, because why not? It's not, it's a little messy, but it's not the end of the world. I can just do both. And there will be another update to the repo just for Deque, because that one has a README file that appears when you visit the repository in GitHub, and I'm going to update that with a few things, like talking about names of attributes and which are hidden and which aren't. So yeah, is that it? I think that might be it. I don't think think I really changed much else that I have to mention. I think we've got that. Let me check GitHub, just in case. Commits. Major recursion, I don't need to mention that. That's just a bug fix, Contains itself, yes, okay. So there's nothing actually in the API that changed before today's thing, so I'm going to push this as a commit, and then I'll have another commit just in Deque for the README. And that's mostly just cleaning up the API a little. Not that you should ever use this, like for real. If you have an actual code thing you want to make, use a real thing. Because this is written in pure Python, and collections.deque is written in C. So that one's going to be much faster. I guess if you make a large Deque once and then reverse it like a million times or whatever, it's possible that this one could eventually end up faster overall, but I kind of doubt it. If you want matrix multiplication, use pandas or NumPy. I've personally never needed a Deque for anything, actually. I just use the built-in data types. Like a list. Lists are pretty good. You just use a list. Anyway, but this exists, and that's good. Save. I'm going to push this to the repos, update the README in the Deque repo, and once again, I don't know what else I will add to this, but possibly something, I don't know. And don't know what I'll stream next. I had a few ideas, but I don't know, whenever I feel like it. And that is all. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.